Hi everyone, it's Linda with stampwithlindawalsh.com. Here's one of our club projects for October. And I just switched this up a little bit because I thought this is going to be so bulky to mail. See how thick it is? That I wanted to change it up. And so what the other girls did in the local classes is we changed that to the snowflake. So let's get started with our project. Here is our kit. Okay. So what I did, this is Riding Hood red cardstock, and then these are those jumbo pearls. So this is done with the die here that's, I think it's the oval accents or something like that. Let's see. Clear oval accent. And I just used the Lovely as a Tree stamp set to do this in crumb cake, and then Greetings of the Season. I used Merry Christmas, and that's in the Riding Hood red also. And I just stamped those, so I did those ahead of time. What I wanted to show you is then I took a piece of just square, this is the coordinations paper, and I just took this back, and I just, just used a little sheet, and I placed it on there, and I ran it through, and that's how I got this. So basically it was like this. Then I took that Petals of Plenty folder, and I ran it through. So what I wanted to show you then was the next thing. This is the new sanding system that we have. And these are the little refills that you get. Here's your block. So by using the coordinations paper, what it does is it doesn't have the solid color through on your cardstock. So it has like a white or a cream base inside. And then you're just going to take your sanding block and just sand away. So what it does is it just picks up the edge, the raised embossed area. And they do sell the sanding buddy to get the fuzzies off. I actually didn't buy one. I don't think you need it. So this gives that little, I think on the ornaments that we did this with, it gives that little fuzzy feel. It kind of feels like velvet a little bit. And just sand off as much as you like. Okay, and let me just get rid of this. Okay, I shook that off. Usually I have another piece of paper on there just so I can just throw it away. Now, you're going to have this piece. It's obviously, look at, it's going to cover my trees. What you're going to do, and you're going to kind of line up with your eye where you're going to cut it. And I notice I can cut it on this little beveled piece there. So that's what I'll look for when I'm going to bring in my cutter, and I'm just going to cut it. Make sure it cut off a little at a time, so then you're happy where it ends. The other thing is, if you notice on this one, some of you might get a squared edge. That's because I didn't have my paper lined up. Doesn't matter, as long as once you get this lined up, this piece is good. So I didn't want to have to cut a whole new piece for that little squared off edge. So let me bring in my paper cutter. I usually use my guillotine, but I just wanted to show you guys this. So, yeah, Stampin' Up's coming out with their new portable paper cutter, so that will be awesome to get. And I'm just going to line this up. Let's see. I'm going to cut off less. Less is more, is that the saying? Let's see. Because I'd rather wait and see, A, did I cut it straight? B, did I cut too much, too less? And that's actually perfect. Okay? And then I might even just lower it a little bit because for some reason you can see some white. So what you're going to do is just lower it a little bit when you put it on. And that will be our next step. So once you cut it, pause the video, and then you can add. Now, did you just see that crumple up? These pieces are, I want to say delicate, I guess, because they do, with the sanding of it, it does probably make your paper fiber a little bit weaker, so it will bunch up on you a tad. And then I'm just putting this on, like so, just to cover up my white. Now you could go in and cut the white on the back. What I'm going to do is, if it hangs over a tad here, I'm just going to cut it to, mine doesn't bother me, it doesn't, but if it hangs over a little bit, you can just take your scissor and just come in and cut it. But that doesn't bother me, because when I put it on my card, yeah, it actually kind of bothers me now that I look at it on my card. So, I will just take a little snip. Whoops. Basically, I just lined it up with the vanilla piece that's already down there. Okay, and you can put this one straight down. That will be next. You can put that on the base of your card. All right, make sure that's even. I like this accent. I think it looks cool with the oval. It just gives it a nice little picture frame look. Alright, so that part's done. So then I changed it up a bit. We're not going to do our little doily thing here, or whatever it's called. I use the, oh boy, the Snow Flurry Big Die. Do you ever have your dies come out like this when you use like the light pieces of paper? You know, I'm going to show you what I do because it kind of bugs me. Isn't that funny how little things bug you? Take your baby wipe and look, it disappears. Isn't that cool? It gets a little wet, but then it dries. Just don't saturate it because there are blades in there. And there you go. It's kind of cleaned off a little bit. My baby wipe was a little bit too wet for that, but that's how you get rid of that. So here I did crumb cake, very vanilla. Let's do these in order. I'm going to put this one down first. And I'm just going to do the center. You can pop this up if you want, but I am popping up the other two layers, so I didn't want to have too much popped up. And just make sure you don't have this hanging over because you won't be able to put it in your envelope once you do. Alright, and then I had already done a dimensional here. And I'm just going to stagger it a little bit so it will go like that. This one I did another dimensional. This is the Riding Hood red piece, and I cut my dimensional to a tiny sliver. And then that's just going to go like that. You're going to take your big your big pearl, and you're going to put that on. Now, I actually like the snowflake better, believe it or not. So, you know, something always, you can change things up. If you find, like, see the thickness on that, if that's too thick for you, then don't pop any of them up. Just lay them all flat. But this card, oh, and then another thing I didn't do on yours is you can add glitter to this, these trees. And you take your two-way glue pen and just color over the tree, sprinkle your glitter, and it's really a nice effect. We did that in class because, you know, some of the girls asked for the glitter. I didn't do it on my original, so I'm not going to do it with yours, but you're welcome to do it. Alright, so thanks for joining with me with this card. I hope you buy this coordination paper because I think it's great. I really like it. I think it's a cool effect. I love texture. Alright, so we'll talk soon. See you on the next card.